Now, in this class, we've talked about calligraphy as decoration or ornamentation on architecture, and I want us to have a sense of calligraphy as text. So here we see a fragment or a piece of the Qur'an, which is the sacred text of Islam, and we're going to see and understand this as an object in addition to a sacred text. Now, the Quran is the book in which the divine revelation of the Prophet Muhammad is written down, and it's traditionally written in Arabic. And over the course of the first maybe 150 years of Islam, this form of manuscript was adapted to suit the dignity and the splendor of this divine revelation. What I mean is the words of the Quran were written in such a way as to visually express the sacred text and how amazing and special and divine the Word of God given to the Prophet Muhammad is as read and seen in the Quran. Now, I'm going to give you some definitions here as well. In case you haven't written it down already, the Quran can be spelled in several variations. I've given you two here, K-O-R-A-N and Q-U-R''A-N, and then sometimes you'll see it without the apostrophe. And here I've given you a fuller definition. The Quran is one of the 5 holy books of Islam. It is divided into 114 chapters, or surah. Surah is the name for chapters. And it is believed to be the word of God as dictated to Muhammad by the archangel Gabriel, and traditionally written down in Arabic. Now, what do I mean by one of the 5 holy books of Islam? Well, remember that Islam is a continuation from Judaism and Christianity. And so the 5 books include the Quran, the Torah, the Gospel, the Psalms, and the Scrolls. The Quran given to Muhammad, the Torah given to Moses, the Gospel given to Jesus, the Psalms given to David, and the Scrolls given to Abraham. And this object, a written document, we would refer to as a manuscript. So here we are seeing a manuscript of the Quran, and I've given you the definition for manuscript. Manuscript literally means handwritten. Manu, hand, written, script. And so we're going to be discussing the object, the manuscript in front of us, this fragment. Now, during the first 150 years of Islam, we see the Quran being written in or I should say, we see the Quran manuscripts adapting and developing into a standardized composition that suits the dignity and the splendor of the divine text. What do I mean by that? Well, if you think of the Quran as the Word of God, then the object which holds the Word of God should echo as best it can the beauty and splendor of the Word of God. And while it's understood that the Quran was written down after the death of Prophet Muhammad, the word Quran has its roots in the word recitation, to recite, which suggests that this manuscript, these words were meant to be or originally spoken. So there's an oral tradition of hearing the word of God as it is being recited from the Quran. This manuscript, as an object, is made on parchment, more specifically vellum. And so I'm giving you 2 more definitions. Parchment, an animal skin treated for writing, and vellum, as I have highlighted here. Vellum is the type of parchment used for this manuscript. Vellum is specifically calf skin that's been treated for writing, and it comes from the French word "veau," meaning cow. And vellum is the most expensive, most fine, most delicate of the different types of parchment. Now I'm going to have you watch a video about the development, or not the development, the process of making a manuscript before we continue on with our next element of looking at this fragment, because I want you to really understand the amount of time it takes, the hard work, the amount of resources, not just resources of people, but the raw materials that make a single manuscript from parchment. The video is from the Getty. It's a great video, but it's going to be focusing on Western art. Specifically, it's showing you the construction of a Western illuminated manuscript, a Bible. So I want you to just watch for the technical aspects of making a manuscript, and then rather than focusing on the Western Bible, we're going to apply these same techniques and raw materials to the development of the Qur'an manuscripts. Okay, so go watch that, and then we'll continue with part 2.